underway. It's the first match of Group A on the main stream. It is, of course, the Group of Death. Let's see what these teams are made of.
I should mention as well, for those who are maybe just unaware, there is the Rainbow Six Bravo channel at the moment that is live with the B stream over there. And so if you want, you can, of course, chuck up both streams at once. Why not?
Yeah, indeed. If you get sick of our voice, you can mute us and listen to the Bravo stream. I'm pretty sure Dev and Jess are over there casting at the moment, so you can get some more Aussie into your veins. But let's, of course, head into the bans and let's start discussing those. Thatcher, Habana, both taken off the board. Both of these teams very comfortable with these bans. We've seen historically in the last year, they've both played with these bans on almost every single occasion, either picking it or, of course, playing against it. So in terms of Clubhouse, in terms of these two teams, nothing really standing out there. And honestly, I'm expecting similar bans to continue. What we're expecting, my taken off the board, a projectile denial. That, of course, does make positions like Rafters a little bit more tricky to hold and other various locations around the map as well.
The one thing this also does is it's going to put Liquid into a position where they need to decide, do they ban the Mirror or do they ban the Valk? They've gone with both of those in the past. I'm expecting one of the two to come out here. It is going to be the Mirror. It does mean Valk is available, which is a operator that we do tend to see Empire actually ban out quite a lot. So they've elected to go for Wamai, and as you said, will definitely strengthen that Rafters position.
Well, Liquid, of course, starting on... yeah, of course, Liquid starting on the defense. We're going to head to the downstairs bomb location. PSK bringing out the Kaid, which is expected when not banned out, to try and reinforce those hatches and make them a little bit more difficult to obtain. Of course, with that Habana on the board as well, that will only compound the pain for the attack, who need to lean into the Ace and the Maverick combo.
So Liquid on the defense first, Empire on the attack here for Clubhouse. As we said before, pre-show, and along with Hap and Fluke as well in the pre-match discussion, Empire certainly happy with the choice to going over to Clubhouse. 15-1-3 record. They get to attack first up. And for Liquid, it's all about their defense and how they are going to set up here, at least down here in the basement church arsenal, how much presence that they are going to actually show above, and whether or not they are going to be aggressive or if they may look to just turtle it up a little bit in these opening rounds.
Moringa is, of course, on the mutes, takes a Kate on the Mozzie, so we would likely expect a roam here from Team Liquid. That said, early indications, it's a little bit tricky to tell if they're actually going to commit to that. Parley reinforcing the bar hatch would suggest that it won't be too hard of a roam, maybe a little bit of a soft roam. Jacuzzi ball reinforced and hatches popped. So yeah, I'm keen to see just how hard Liquid actually try to hold this. Often teams will hold it for, 30 seconds, a minute, happy to fall back towards site. Others will contest it more fiercely. I'm not sure. We'll have to see which approach Liquid tries to go for here.
Well, and it's also like whether or not they're going to look to be aggressive early, then fall back, or if they're going to hold those positions. And at the end of the day as well, we're looking at two different regions coming into this one here, LATAM and EUL, of course. So there are going to be maybe some slight differences, but for the most part, a map like Clubhouse, pretty structured. And one of the things that you were at least saying off air earlier on, you're kind of expecting to see a bit of stock standard gameplay and maybe not too many tricks.
Stick on the rafters here. Things out that Mozzie Pest to try and drone ahead for his team. Doesn't want that intel being forfeited. And there we go. It does in the end. The rotate had a cheeky Pest on it, and this is slowing down the roam clear for Empire. Liquid holding firm. They're relying heavily again on that intel denial to play off that. And Danger Man, Sexy Cake inside of Con gets lit up. Oh, he actually gets dropped there. Dan on the cross to shut that down, and now Nesk feels the pressure in Cash.
A pretty big pick there for Empire. As you mentioned, it was a little bit difficult for them to clear out some of these roamers, but now they've been able to do just that, always into bedroom. And Liquid losing that player is going to hinder their defense later on into the round. Still a minute and a half to go, plenty of time, but Empire can now make their way down the first floor, look to open up a lot of this kitchen site and a lot of these floorboards and gain vision above and get this vert control.
Always above. In the kitchen hallway, creating lines of sight. I'm expecting Cypher to come along shortly and get summer charges working on the likes of the hatches. Maybe Shepard as well will use his gas canister in fear of those electro claws. Harley trying to deny some drones inside of Moto, but he'll fall back. And as we can see, Liquid now defaulting towards site. The roam, despite dropping one player, pretty successful, wasted quite a bit of time. On the flip side though, Empire still have 8 drones available. And once they get these hatches open, they can try and work out exactly where these defenders are located and try to pick them apart.
It's only the first round, though, of course. Marathon, not a sprint, especially over the course of the entire group stage. But it is nice to, of course, be playing early. PSK is going to throw out that C4 over towards main stairs. Not going to find the target. Joystick now over to Moto. There's a drop down as well. That's going to be Shepard behind him. But Joystick's position now has been spotted. They know where he is. Ness going to get the pick up onto Dan. 25 seconds left, and all of a sudden, Liquid, they have been able to equal things up. Trades back and forth. Partlu's now going to go down as well. And it's Liquid that are falling by the wayside early here. Empire's attack just flawless towards the end of the round. And they will take the opening round of SI 21.
Solid round number 1 there from Team Empire, giving us an indication as to why they let this map slip through. They feel comfortable on it, and they set a nice tone in round number 1. They weren't scared away from the roam that was established by Liquid. They got that kill onto Sexy Cake, and then they transferred that control across nice and quickly into the vert. And from there, they could trade out the picks. The EU fans can rejoice, and the LATAM fans, I'm sure, are a little bit weary-eyed, might be a little bit disappointed at round number 1. But as you mentioned, round 1 of the first match, a long, long way to go, and Liquid never go down without a fight.
Good sight to win as well for Team Empire taking out that basement. We're not going to be seeing Liquid repeat. They're going to go upstairs now, CCTV and Cash. Not too surprising. I thought maybe they might want to repeat, but ultimately CCTV Cash, pretty decent sight to hold here as well on the defense. They got that Jaeger, of course, which you'll see the ADSs over towards Rafters. No Wamai on the board, as we sort of spoke about in the ban phase. That will weaken that position slightly. And for Empire, a good little start. We'll see how much longer, though, they are able to continue to get these dubs over Liquid.
Good start here for Cypher, going 3-0 in round number 1. Didn't have the best stage 1 for EUL, a negative 10 KD. Of course, though, keep in mind he normally does find himself on these support positions like the hard bridge, so not expecting necessarily to go big in the frag department, but he definitely made good use of the AK-12 there in the first round, and if he can continue that form and continue, of course, to support his fraggers, then Empire will find themselves in a good position. PSK on the roam. This is LATAM in a nutshell. Get nice and aggressive, deny that intel, and maybe even find the cheeky opener.
I think the main thing there for that roam is, of course, just keeping that pressure over towards that lounge area, eventually making it very difficult for Empire to establish down below, especially pushing into garage, for instance, and then even up to top red. So I think the biggest thing to note, though, is, of course, that early pick that we saw from Empire in the previous round. That really put Liquid on the back foot. So, you know, when we speak about PSK roaming below, guys, he does have to be very careful.
Wall getting worked here by Shepard. Sexy Cake elects not to use his smoke canisters and deny the wall, but he will get a little bit aggressive on the breach as the reinforcement pops off and exposes the soft wall. That's his cue to sit back, play passive at the top of red stairs, not electing to over-aggress. And 2 minutes left in the round. Empire find themselves in a good position. They have that cross, and now we get to see their approach. Do they go for Con or do they go for Garage? And with Cypher just leaping there in towards Con, no one contesting that. That could be the play on the western side.
Yeah, I think that kind of gives away where they're going to be looking to angle this. As you said, a pretty early Kennel's wall opened up. Now they can look to push through Con if they want to. Depends whether or not they don't like the garage push. We'll see, at least in the later rounds. This is only the first time, but for Empire, it is going to be a Con push now, minute and a half remaining. No real pressure from Liquid over towards Con. PSK is still down below over towards stage, but he can be, of course, the difference maker later on in the round.
PSK and Palu down below. I think they're trying to protect the mute jammer that was placed on the wall and making it difficult to open. As we can see, thank you to the observer. The wall is, of course, muted up, but that is a really good way to deny that from the attack. Pops it off the wall not being open though. So I think the summer may have been shot from below. Of course, that hatch popped, gives a line of sight onto the reinforcement. And now Empire, they are being stalled out here slowly by Team Liquid.
Yeah, just a little bit of time wasted here from PSK, taking out that Salma, but he gives away his position down below, and Joystick will hunt him down quite literally. And once again, Empire will get the opening kill of the round. They do fire back over towards Bar, and Joystick now has to fall back over towards main stairs. 38 seconds, it's time for Empire to continue their slaughter here on Clubhouse. Always is down to a quick little double from Team Liquid. Makes it 3 versus 3 with 30 seconds left in the round.
Cypher, again, pressure on his shoulders to go bigger. Players go deeper towards site. The Sexy Cake, no. He of course knows now with the Q being given away, but now he needs to try and hold the top of red stairs. Finds the first onto Joystick. Shepard now left to try and stick that plant down. Sexy Cake with the call, swings wide, gets the pick, and Liquid close out round 2.
Much better from Team Liquid, guys. Held their ground, held their nerves, didn't bite after Empire started to get another decent lead. They were up 5 versus 3, got those opening picks. Once again, dealt with PSK pretty comfortably, but Liquid held firm, held their position, stopped a lot of those swings. We saw one of the swings over towards top red. Obviously, Sexy Cake, nice easy kill, then can take that rotate hole and deny, of course, in what was going to be very difficult to get that plant down. 1-1, Liquid bite back nice and early. Again, a reminder, of course, it's best of 1, guys. So each round in this match, so vital, so important.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Really good shutdown there from Sexy Cake. A long-time player and, of course, the support IGL for Liquid, a fan favorite as well. He's had a really good stage 1 in the BR6 League, top in terms of plants in the Copa 6 as well. So he's been absolutely popping off and on that smoke roll as well, proving his worth. Of course, Liquid now will change things up and they're going to reattempt down below. They are bringing the Mute Mozzie combo once again, reinforcing Kennels and Jacuzzi. So expect to see another roam attempted.
10 seconds to go.
And this is going to be the difference as well for Liquid being aggressive, getting in the face of Empire, looking to play that roam game. It hasn't necessarily been ultra effective in the first 2 rounds, but once it starts to get along and they can, say, for example, get some of these opening picks, it really will hinder the attack of Empire a lot more significantly than, say, the previous 2 rounds that we've seen thus far. It's just about being a little bit more effective in their approach, especially on the second floor. They lost that player nice and early in the opening round. Just have to clean a few things up here on the repeat of Church Arsenal.
Setting up sequential breach.
Cypher been busy in these first few rounds and he's looking to try and open Jacuzzi ball nice and early. Is denied though. The mute jammer from Moringa delaying that. I would expect Shepard maybe to come across and help in that clearance. Oh, there's a player down below in bar. Does Nesk know? To his bottom left, it's Joystick. Could find the head.
Knows his position as well. Throws out the impact grenade. Joystick does catch his head. Nice call, Guz, and Joystick will get the opening pick once again for Empire. 3 rounds in a row now. They've been able to have this 5-on-4 advantage. Liquid were able to bite back pretty quickly last time in the second round. But a good start for Empire. And now the decision for Liquid, do you fall back? Do you just sort of try and salvage this? Or do you look to get back on the front foot and find a kill back to even it up 4-4? It's a lot of time. Palu just does that immediately, takes out Scyther, runs back down main stairs. And I think they'll take that as a draw with a minute and a half left in the round.
One of the hard breaches down as well, and that puts a lot of pressure back onto the shoulders of Shepard late round. He'll need to work quickly to get hatches open, and Empire may even need to reconsider their approach on towards the site. That said, they haven't even cleared the roams yet. Moringa inside of CCTV causing issues, and it looks like, based on Empire's positions, they still want to contest this. Sexy Cake as well on the defense there to support at the top of red stairs. This is going to be really tough for Empire with that time ticking down.
Liquid very much committed to this roam game, and not falling back early here makes it difficult for Empire, but they do look towards the site now. There's not much time remaining. Always rotates back over the main stairs. Still looking to maybe open up a bit of this kitchen area. They haven't really been able to do that whatsoever, and time is of the essence. So it's just a drop-down moto hatch. Joystick covering down main hallway, and it's Shepard who gets the pick onto PSK. Still 0-3 to start off SI21. Not the best start. Shepard's going to go for the plant and try and stick that diffuser.
Good crosses being held here. No plant denial from Team Liquid, and it gets stuck. It's a 4 versus 3 post plant here, and they need to get themselves back in it. Joystick, though, shuts down Sexy Cake on the retake. Moringa responds, though, leaving them the 2-on-3, but they just have all the angles shut down. Moringa needs to go huge.
Wow.
There's nothing that he can do, and always will get the final pick for Empire.
Well, it's the best way to sort of counter that roam game, guys. Just drop down motor hatch. They did no work over towards the kitchen area or that kitchen hatch. It was just drop down motor hatch. 40 seconds left. If they've got 2 players still roaming around, let's get onto site. Let's look to find that pick, take control of Church, and they did just that. Empire reading the room perfectly there, able to counter that roam game from Liquid. 2 successive rounds now in church. Arsenal and Liquid will not repeat. Gym Bedroom for the first time here in this matchup.
Hey, Gym Bedroom, my favorite site. Let's go. And Moringa is 6-picking onto the Frost, which just makes it doubly good. I'm sure chat is going to be absolutely loving it. The Pogvats, as they are now affectionately known, really, really effective on this side in particular. And of course, outside of that, also has the ITA shotgun and a deployable shield. So Frost is by no means a meme pick, a disrespectful pick, nothing like that. A genuine pick in competitive Siege and has been really effective late last year and early this year.
And especially over towards the APAC region, of course, where we are from, we see it quite a bit. In fact, very often, guys, and even outside of Gym Bedroom and on other sites as well, quite a lot of the time. So let's see how Moringa is going to play this, and let's see how Liquid can look to bite back, expecting probably a player in cash, player top red, look to really extend out towards this cash top red area and then fall back through con. They've got that rotate hold into logistics. So pretty stock standard right now from Liquid here on the defense.
And just to lighten the mood for a second, of course, I've never casted a LAN, never in front of a crowd, nothing like that. But I got to say, of course, no delay on the stream because this is a LAN environment. Seeing chat just pop off there, getting excited about Pogvats, that's awesome to see. Hope everyone, of course, is enjoying this match. It has been a long time since we have seen cross-regional competition in Siege. 15 months. And this match has already been really exciting so far.
It is so good to be back and watching these players perform on LAN and seeing the cross rivalries return. And I mean, it's been 2 years since Liquid and Empire, of course, have duked it out, and that's just too long. So it's great to be back. Hope everyone's going to enjoy not only today, but the rest of the week and the entire event. The good start for Empire. Liquid, though, by no means have been performing too poorly. We're seeing a lot of Palu, a lot of Moringa. PSK definitely needs to get on the board at some point. Has been caught early on in rounds, but a lot of time, of course, to rectify that. Empire, 2 minutes to go. Slow approach. Got control of Rafters. They can now open up CCTV and look to get control of Cash and top red.
Ooh, a cheeky nade there from Always. We'll drop Sexy Cake on the Jaeger. That's a little bit ironic. Of course, the projectile denial operator taken off the board by a said projectile. Dan, though, gets lit up in response down towards stock. He manages to escape, though, back towards Kennels, and no refrag or no damage responded with from Empire as Joystick as well on the entry gets dropped. Palu gets himself in yet another round. Empire need to shut him down.
And it just feels like the difference right now between these two teams is the fact that we've gone 4 rounds, and in those 4 rounds, it's always Empire getting these opening kills, always getting off to the good start, always having a slight advantage, and being able to capitalize on that and secure these 2 out of the first 3 rounds. Moringa on the Frost, just now playing pure defense and expecting the push to come. Minute left, Palu, PSK, of course, still up. 3 versus 4. Dan is quite low in the Sophia, so it's not exactly a fully healthy Empire here with 55 seconds left. You have to be careful, and especially with Palu still alive. 4-1 and 2 off to a good start and has been so dominant of recent for Liquid.
Arguably one of, if not the best fragger in the game at the moment. Palu is very dangerous no matter the situation, and you cannot discount him in a 3 versus 4. Empire setting themselves up for the execute. 30 seconds left on the board, and they need to establish these crossfires. It looks like they're going to go for a Logi drop, and Moringa will be under the pump.
Oh, the drone, though, goes through. Does take a cheeky shot at it. Moringa not going to change position, though. They now know where he's holding. 20 seconds left inside a stash at Scyther with a quick little peek. Palu, though, with a Nitrocell kill. Unfortunately, though, over towards 9, he does get taken down. PSK can still not find that opening kill for himself. And Empire will take round number 4 and a 3-1 lead here on Clubhouse.
Empire go bada bing, bada boom, and get another strong attack win on the board. They're setting themselves up really nicely for these executes, finding picks when required, and even when players like Palu make an attempt to respond, they're eventually withered in numbers, and Empire able to really just rule the roost here on these attacks so far. Honestly, in my opinion, they've already exceeded the pass mark for a Clubhouse attack at the moment. Of course, we're going to have to see how the meta plays out here at Six Invitational.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I would not be disappointed if Empire even managed to lose the next couple of rounds, 3-3 the half. They are versing one of the better teams heading into this event. And if they can kick things off with a really strong first half, that'd be great for them and their fans.
Yeah, and just a reminder as well, for those who have maybe only just tuned in, this is a very, very good map for Empire, a 15-1-3 record over the last few months. So they are very difficult to beat on Clubhouse. I think we're seeing that firsthand now. Guz and for Liquid, maybe didn't quite anticipate that Empire were going to be this dominant on Clubhouse. Surely they would have seen the statistics. Liquid themselves, though, of course, have been performing well on Clubhouse too. So it's a matter of just sort of like, all right, let's see who's better. Right now, we've only played 4 rounds. Still, we've got to obviously see the switch of the halves. Who knows? And, you know, as you mentioned, the SI meta in itself is like a little bubble compared to the rest of the world. It can be very different to what we're used to seeing. But I will say, you know, usually defense on Clubhouse is the go-to.
A little bit cheeky here from Moringa. This is something we don't often get see catched by the observer tool, but teams actually frequently will have a player sit on the default cams at the very start of the round, and that can actually give critical intel as to where the push will be coming from, which direction they're going to be setting up from. And sure, you know, it's only a limited amount of intel, and Empire may not play into that exactly, but it's better than nothing, right? You can start rotating players a little bit over towards the western side of the map, for example, where we can see Joystick setting up. If, of course, was Kennels, you can set up a bit more strongly over towards the east. So I really like that from Liquid, having someone dedicated to that default camera at the start of the round.
Need to see Liquid find an opening pick at some point, though, and I think it can really just hinder Empire enough that Liquid should be able to take this once again. They were successful on CCTV Cash last time out, and they definitely need to win this one. Otherwise, a 4-1 scoreline is, well, not good for Liquid. 3-2 on the other hand, not so bad, and they can look to change things. PSK, there you go. Welcome to SI. We'll take out Dan, gets his first pick, and that might be the spark needed to fire up for Liquid. And they do get the opening pick for the first time, Guz, and now they got that advantage. We'll see if they can capitalize.
And it's really a story of one struggling player taking out another. Dan was the MVP in Stage 2 of 2020 EUL. He was an absolute machine. He was also the MVP at the November Major, which Empire had a really strong performance in as well. So he's having a quiet start so far, 1-4, and he needs to try and find himself into this matchup and start carrying Empire.
Minute 20 left in the round. Empire have just been slightly better than Liquid at the moment, but so much still to play here on Clubhouse. The first game played for SI at 21 so far. PSK getting lit up down below. Needs to be careful over towards stage. You've got to respect this, though, from PSK. Despite a sluggish start, is happy to just keep being involved. He's now got 2 for the round. Does get refragged by Always, but Liquid still maintain this lead. They've still got this advantage. 4 versus 3, 50 seconds left. I find it very difficult now for Empire to win this site for Cash and CCTV.
Before disadvantage, Palu still down below. Liquid loving that downstairs hole, but he'll rotate above now to assist the rest of his team, and Empire likely will be forced through the windows, through the cash door, and this does not favor him this scenario. Liquid should trade this out.
Scyther just sitting at the sub roof, watching in through the CC window. Now looks through Con. They've got that rotate hole available into Cash. That's going to be one of the smoke grenades out. Shepard, nice frag, takes out Nesk and just evens things up. 3 versus 3 at the perfect time. An opportune time now for Empire to push onto the site. With 12 seconds left, we're into red time. It's time to go. Shepard does make the push in, but Moringa with a pixel will stop the plant. A Sexy Cake will take out Scyther, and Liquid take the round.
Moringa on Rafters, absolutely huge from him. That is an off-meta plant. No one plants at that window over towards the AC vent. Normally it's over towards the bomb. And either way, his position fortified. No one clearing out Rafters there from the attack. He's able to hold firm, finds the double, and it's a good response on the D.
And a good response from Liquid as well, because it just felt like Empire really had their claws all over this match so far. They were up 3-1. They had gotten 4 opening picks in a row. Everything was leaning towards Empire getting off to this amazing start here on this attack, but Liquid at least can just halt that momentum momentarily. One final round in this half. If they can tie it up 3-3, they'll be looking quite a bit better going into the second half. But this is where they've been having issues. Church Arsenal, they have not been able to win this site defensively yet at all, Liquid.
Well, maybe this is the round they can bring it back. Judging by their operator selection, Sexy Cake has jumped off the Mozzie onto the smoke, and to me that would suggest that they're not going to dedicate to as heavy of a roam, if any roam, at all. We did see at times it did bleed a little bit of time here and there, but for the most part, Empire's clear was efficient, and they set themselves up with plenty of time, plenty of utility late round for the execute. So we might see a bit of a soft drone. I believe that's Palu over towards the bathrooms, just barricading up. He might position himself down below and try to apply a little bit of pressure, but I don't expect this to be as an expansive of a roam as we saw previously.
Well, and that's the thing is, right, if it hasn't worked twice, do you go for that third time? In saying that, you've made some mistakes. You should know where to fix it. The biggest downfall for Liquid so far on Church Arsenal, they keep losing a player around this sort of second floor area in this roam game, and they haven't been able to find a refrag in that either. So it's just about, if they can be successful with this though, find that opening pick on this roam, make it 5 versus 4, I would almost just take that and run, like quite literally run back downstairs and hold out on a 5v4 advantage.
Buddy system from Liquid down below. They'll rotate over towards Garage. Arlo as well, dedicating to that soft drone, but gets spotted by the Inox of Joystick, who's been sticking that Jackal for the most part. And I think that has been one of the operators really aiding this roam clear. As you can see, Palu feeling the pressure a little bit, will fall back. It's not immediate pressure, but it is perceived pressure, and he doesn't want to throw away his life early, especially considering that he can be that clutch player and that big player late round.
And the other thing for Liquid as well is Moto Hatch has been the go-to now twice for Empire. Need to probably have a little bit more defensive presence, at least around that church looking into Moto area. Later on in the round, not so much right now. Joystick gonna just again put out that perceived pressure, track one of the feet. And with a minute and a half remaining, this has been at least better for Liquid. You give him a bit of a pass mark right now, because they haven't lost anyone like the previous 2 times on Church Arsenal, and now they get the opening pick. Sexy Cake with a sexy angle, takes out Always, and there is that advantage now with a minute 20 left in the round.
That's Always taken down. That's the sledge, and that's really going to restrict the amount of verticality that Empire can make here. Joystick, of course, with the ITA could get to work a little bit and get something going, but it's going to severely slow that down. Moringa with a Nitro Cell in hand, looking to throw it over that reinforced wall down to the bottom of the stairwell. If he manages to stick this, it's round over for Empire.
Yeah. There's not much time. I'm not going to say it's round over right now, but Empire are going to have to be very aggressive with their approach onto site. Look to find these picks nice and early here with 40 seconds left. And as you said, that Nitro Cell ready to go at the bottom of main stairs. Scyther will start to creep over towards this position. Has to be careful. It has not been thrown out. In fact, 2 Nitro Cells still available. 1 for Palu, 1 for PSK. And as soon as they get any sort of information, that Nitro Cell will get thrown over. One of the benches is being used. But look at this from Scyther just pushing up the hallway. And they are just getting torn to shreds. Liquid, welcome to SI21. They close out this first half in pure style, flawless round.
Well. Liquid really showing up there in that round. A fantastic first pick from Sexy Cake, setting his team up so beautifully there. They really struggled to gain verticality, getting hatches open, etc., etc. Almost every hurdle just could not be overcome that was set by the defense. Really strong work there from Liquid to bring back the half. And now I'm really keen to see just how aggressive they elect to be here on the attack.
Same can be said as well for Empire. Are they going to be as aggressive as Liquid on the defense, these sort of roaming positions, and look to find these opening picks? It kind of backfired for Liquid in the first couple of rounds, but geez, the last 2-3 rounds, they really got their mojo going. And it's got them into a position now at this halftime switch, 3-3. I think both teams should be pretty happy with this. It's the first game of SI. It's kind of a feeler match, right? In how you're feeling as well. You're on the LAN environment for the first time in a while, playing this sort of cross-region match. And it's just about getting that feeling and warming up a little bit as well. It's your first real match, so both teams should be pretty happy with the way they're playing right now.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The format, of course, has changed slightly from previous Six Invitationals. In this one, you play a lot of best of ones. We have 2 big groups of teams. So you play a lot of different teams, a lot of different matches. And at the end of the day, not many teams actually get knocked out from the group stage. Of course, the lower you finish, the more likely you are to start in the lower bracket for playoffs. But it's important that, especially in the first couple of days, these are filler matches. Like you said, warm up, get ready for the bigger ones later down the line, and don't put too much weight, too much pressure on these matches. Just find your feet.
Yeah. It's about the long game, really. It's not so much about just one game at a time, and you will eventually find that form that you're looking for the majority of the teams here at Six Invitational. So, second half underway in this best of one. Liquid have now won the last 2 rounds in a row. They were down 1-3 after Empire really came flying out of the blocks. They picked up the first 4 opening kills of the game before Liquid have at least started to turn that around. And of course, now Liquid on the attack, and we'll see what they can bring here on Clubhouse. And it's going to be one of the first smoke grenades thrown out. Of course, that's just going to slow down Sexy Cake more than anything.
And on top of that, it wasn't very nice of Cypher or Shepard to use their shotguns to open up the wall a little bit, shears it open. And as you can see, Sexy Cake having some issues in popping the wall. He does eventually get it done, only takes a slight hit to his HP. So really well done there by the Brazilian. Wall open now, and that's, of course, line of sight that the defense will have to proceed with caution when crossing.
A little bit slower so far, at least in opening that wall compared to Empire. We got like, what, a minute and a half remaining in the round. It took Empire about the 2-minute mark or so. So Liquid might just be a little bit slower in their approach to attacking Cash CCTV. Empire, a lot of presence over towards top red. You got Always in Rafters, joystick down below, roaming around that lounge area. So Empire with a more structured sort of defense, not getting too aggressive with the roam game.
Bomb located by attackers.
Minute left in the round, and Team Liquid shaping up for a con-take. Diffuser in the hands of Sexy Cake at the exterior wall, and the likes of Dan with a nitro cell already ripped, ready and waiting for a player to cross that position. He has been droned out, so it is known, but with that shield alongside, it should reinforce said position. That said, though, he's actually going to fall back, fire a couple of shots out the window, and now he's pinched.
Stuck in a corner, unfortunately for Dan, makes his way out of it, just using that bomb along with that shield. Still has the nitro cell that we've seen a little while now. Does get thrown out, and a lot of damage onto Moringa. 30 seconds left. That's not ideal. We're now having to push on to this site, and Liquid have just been very slow with their approach. I mean, still trying to open up this cash wall. They're leaving it too little, too late, although it is still a 5 versus 5. It just comes down to who can hit their shots.
And Liquid haven't cleared out Dan. He could go huge. That's the diffuser dropped. Time ticking down. He doubles for a second. 2 players low for Liquid, and this is not going to go well for them. Cypher surely can get in on the action, but no, gets shut down. Dan doing all of the work. He's eventually taken down, but the time will deplete Empire to take the round.
Too slow in the end from Liquid. Definitely their downfall there, guys. Unfortunately, just taking way too long. Didn't clear out Dan, as you mentioned as well, and that really was the sort of cherry on a very unfortunate cake for Team Liquid. Empire will halt that momentum that Liquid were building over in that first half, winning the last 2 rounds. So that has now been stopped. Empire back to winning ways there with a very good defensive round, and they didn't necessarily do anything too crazy either. I mean, it was a very structured defense, pretty much holding on site. The main thing was Dan having the willingness to hold on to that cash position right to the end, gets 2 picks, and in the end just stops that attack immediately.
And that's a really exciting prospect for both Empire, the team, and their fans as well. Like I said, Dan last year, really, really strong. One of the best, if not the best in EUL. Started off a little bit slow though in 2021, but in this matchup, it's taken a little while, 7 rounds, but he's in it now. He's feeling red hot, and if he can continue that form with the 416 in hand, he could be a very, very dangerous player for Liquid to deal with.
And PSK, another one as well. We sort of touched on both of them. PSK and Dan, nice and early on. A little bit slow, but now they've gotten going. So it's nice to see pretty much all 10 members performing in some way, shape, or form. There's no one really anchoring their team. We're seeing both Liquid and Empire, all their members performing quite well here in the opening match. And more than anything, regardless of this match, it's just good signs for SI overall. If everyone's clicking, everyone's playing well, it's good signs for both teams. And honestly, from what we're seeing from Empire right now, I don't know if they're going to get Clubhouse in many of their other matches, guys, surely. Because if they continue to somehow get Clubhouse, they are going to be a big threat later on.
And that's the big talking point from this matchup for me, is I would love to be in the mindset of Liquid. Why did they go to Clubhouse? They would have had the same stats we did. It's a great map for Empire. Some would say it's likely their best map, at least statistically. I'm sure Liquid, you know, they have that in the backs of their minds. They are going to bring everything to the table to try and win this first matchup. But like you said, for the rest of the group stage, look, if I'm sitting back watching this, I'm probably not taking Empire to Clubhouse anytime soon.
In saying that, though, Liquid very much holding their own here. You know, when you consider that record that Empire does have, Liquid are playing all right, but this is where I now start to worry. Is this going to still be sort of defender-sided here, and Empire just going to sort of clean sweep in this second half? Obviously, off to a good start. Need to see a little bit more. Jacuzzi wall, nice and open early here for Gym Bedroom. Minute 40 remaining in the round. Of course, Nesk around that subroof area, and it's going to be a pest through these Gym Bedroom windows. Open those up, and there's a lot of time here for Liquid, and this is sort of a good thing to bring up because time was their issue in the last round.
The one thing I'm really liking here from Liquid is they are bringing the Yana to the table, can gain additional intel, 2 grenades in hand, and if Palu elects, can bring the Gon 6 as well, dealing with a lot of the utility that has been established here from Team Empire. On top of that, of course, he can run the G36, which is an absolute beast of a gun. Gon 6 flies out, so I would assume that Palu does find a piece of intel, gets lit up in response, but he'll survive. And now again, we enter the phase of the round where Liquid set up for the execute. A couple more players on the defense need to be cleared from some of these key positions. Joystick, for example, he can watch those vault-ins, and that will force a filter through the bathroom, which Shepard is watching, and he manages to trick the first wall, and the mute gem was there. Gets cleared eventually. The PSK doesn't have any exothermic charges left, and Shepard will drop Sexy Cake, and the kid is down.
Just a bit of a misstep there from Sexy Cake. As you said, diffuser down. Palu needs to go big here from main stairs. They've just lost Nesk as well. Joystick picking up that kill on the Frost. 25 seconds left in this round. If anyone's going to make something happen here for Team Liquid, it will be Palu. It's actually Moringa gets the first pick. Unfortunately, PSK did go down. Moringa's found a second one. Where's the Moringa cam? Scyther, though, does shut him down, and guess who? It's down to Palu in a 1 versus 3. Can't deal with Shepard. Empire, 2 rounds in a row. Their defense looking very solid.
Great work there from the IGL. Shepard just absolutely tearing his opponents apart with that bullet hose. The first pick was critical. Liquid fumbling at the bathroom wall, unable to open it up. Sexy Cake, he didn't even get the mute jammer off on the first occasion. That delay cost them and meant that Shepard, of course, could impact the first charge, and then layer on top of that, the kill. Really good work from him, and Empire extend that lead. And honestly, I think this is now the time where the pressure begins to sink in a little bit for Liquid.
Yeah, it's getting closer and closer to the match point mark. 2 more rounds now for Empire. Away from that, we head down to Church Arsenal. They look to do the World Tour, Guz. And if they're successful in that, 6-3, and then it's sort of do it all over again, you definitely will back in Empire at that point. So this becomes a very critical round. You know, a site that Liquid had a lot of issues with defending. We saw them roam above quite exceptionally, and I do have to wonder, this is where we are going to see from Empire. Do they play a little bit more defensive? Because from what we're seeing in these earlier sites, Cache, CCTV, Gym, Bedroom, very structured, very methodical with their defense, not really giving Liquid much of an inch.
We enter a pause phase here. I can only presume that it's a tactical pause for one of these teams, and if I had to hedge my bets, it's probably on Liquid, who are letting that momentum slip away a little bit. They can think about how they're going to approach this next site. They know it's going to be basement, and they're bringing the triple hard breach to the table. Now, I honestly don't watch a whole lot of LATAM, I'll be completely honest, but in APAC, for example, there's only a couple of teams that will run triple hard breach regularly. So it's not something we see a lot in all of the regions, but I'm all for it. The more walls open, the better. And that could definitely try and throw Empire off, who love that structured game style.
And that's the beauty of SI and the beauty of these, you know, cross-region events. You're able to see things from different regions that maybe you don't usually get to see. Maybe the time zones just don't work out. You can't watch APAC or you can't watch LATAM for whatever reason. Now it's all just sort of broadcasted on the main stage, and you can see some differences. We are going to see the 6 pick, though. Thermite does go away onto Ash, and Guz is a little bit disappointed from that one.
Well, look, if it was anyone but Palu, I'd be a little bit disappointed, but the man's jumping on Ash. He's an absolute bragging god. He could just walk in, get 3 kills, and his job's done. So I'm not too concerned here for Liquid. On the side of Empire, though, set up an op picks would suggest that we're not going to see too heavy of a roam, and honestly, that's probably the play. Overall, the roam on basement hasn't been overly successful. At least it wasn't for Liquid on their defense, so Empire happy to hunker down and play for the late game.
10 seconds to insertion.
Well, that's the thing. That's sort of what I'm expecting from Empire. I'm not really expecting them to get too aggressive here. in their approach to this defensive hold on Church Arsenal. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe even a 5-man turtle at some point. Maybe a little bit of pressure early on and then just sort of rotate back down and just play out from there. The biggest issue for Liquid when they were holding Church Arsenal was allowing Empire to push in through Moto and really just push straight into Church. Liquid, of course, employing a bit of a roam game. They had 2 people off site when Empire then made that drop-down push. So we'll see whether or not Empire have, of course, got this in lockdown. You would expect it, considering their record on Clubhouse. They know how to play this. They've done it a million times.
Moringa here just provisionally droning kitchen, making 100% sure it's clear and spotting out any utility that has been potentially placed, such as an intel gatherer, but he's satisfied that it's safe. He'll rappel in towards the main stairs and he can begin to work the floor, open up these angles. Of course, no sledge on the table here, and Moringa will have the task of using that skeleton key to full effect, and Empire, especially those in the hallway, will need to be mindful of above and not get taken down cheaply.
Yeah, and that's just the main thing. The longer that Liquid have time above, the more sightlines they can open up, makes it a little bit difficult to obviously stay on these sites. You can see from Empire's positioning though, guys, we've got our answer to the question I was sort of posing in the way that they're going to defend this, and it is going to be a very defensive setup.
Sexy Cake on the Maverick, getting to work on the Moto hatch. We may not see a whole lot of play over towards Kitchen. It's been a little bit of a quieter place so far in this matchup, and that would probably lean into a Moto push once again. That said, Moringa is, of course, gaining a lot of vertical control, and he can call out that this side of the map is clear. Spots out a Banshee as well, that's positioned to prevent the Ash rush, but on the topic of Ash, Parley can use an Ash charge to clear that out.
The minute in a round, Liquid looking to go for a kitchen approach, still have to do with that Kaid Claw that we saw was actually placed above. We'll see if they can figure that one out. Looks like they have. That was literally as I was mentioning it. Now they can open this up. 50 seconds left of the round, so not too bad from Liquid right now, but of course for Empire, the main thing, what doesn't stop it, no, misses. The main thing for Empire is they're going to have all 5 players. This is the beauty of this sort of turtle play, and they've all literally got their backs against each other.
Alu finds himself at this 90 hallway, trying to get an angle on the Banshee. I'm not sure whether that will connect. We'll get a quick look. No, it falls short, and that will prevent the drop from being effective. I think Empire in a great position here. Liquid need to frag out, go hard, but it's going to be tough.
No one coming from dirt either, so Saito's going to be safe, able to play in from that dirt position. Sexy Cage just drops straight down. The Fuse are in hand, and it's Shepard who gets the frag. PSK goes down too, and unfortunately for Liquid, they're falling one by one. There was one back from Moringa, but of course no diffuser in hand in a 1 versus 4. Empire are going to send this to 6-3 and match point to open up Six Invitational. Liquid, unfortunately, just starting to fall away here on Clubhouse.
Woo! Such a strong showing from the Russians thus far. They are locking down the site time after time after time, and Liquid, despite their fragging prowess, struggling a little bit with that utility and unable to convert any real control in towards the site, just getting immediately shut down. Wow. What a showing from Empire so far. If you have not been following EUL, this team finished 9th in Stage 1 a couple of weeks ago. They had a shocking start to the year. But who knows, maybe they were just saving strats.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to get into that conversation, guys. But hey, what you can say is you're very much happy here if you're an EUL fan or a Russian fan or just an Empire fan, because talk about making a statement. And this is sort of what we mentioned sort of early on in the broadcast. This is what Empire need to do. You come in, you knock off Liquid, who are considered one of the favorites for SI. What a way to stamp your credentials and sort of find that renew your form and refine it from last year. As you said, they struggled in Stage 1, but here they are, and they're playing very well on this Clubhouse map, which I don't expect to see them play it again.
No, I don't think they will play it again. So a little bit of a potentially a free win if they can convert it. We'll have to see how deep their map pool really is in the rest of the group stage. A long, long way to go. Almost a week long, the group stage. So a little bit of an endurance run for all of these teams and a real test of just how good they are against the best in the world from all 4 of the major regions. Is that a spawn peak inside of Pod? Okay. I'm pretty sure that was dead on the box. I couldn't quite tell, but either way, that's pretty spicy. And now Nesk is just a little bit scared as he tries to leave spawn.
And I just also want to mention, it's not doom and gloom for Liquid. You know, seeing players like Palu performing very well, especially Moringa 9-1 and 5, I think gives good signs for Liquid moving forward. This is a very difficult matchup, Empire on Clubhouse. Maybe they will rue the fact that they took them here. Oh, this is interesting. Ooh. That's going to be nice nitrous onto Moringa. Literally just drops to his grave. Hasn't quite been eliminated, of course, and Empire aren't going to have that information. There is a chance, all in likelihood, that Moringa might get picked up here and will. PSK runs over. Of course, Sexy Cake watching above, but Moringa will be low for the remainder of this round, this match point round. But for Liquid, as I was trying to sort of get the point across, it's not doom and gloom, guys. And a lot of their star players playing well. Good signs, just a very tough matchup.
Shepard getting pretty cheeky there with the C4. Throws it on the wall once to scare Sexy Cake back, picks it back up, and of course he can reuse that later in the round, likely for Planted if he so desires. Could even throw it through the rotate. Alex not too Cypher following that up with a gas canister. Decent work here from Liquid, a little bit slower than their counterparts in getting that wall open, but now they can focus their efforts either on the con side of the map and clear that out for a cash push, or maybe Garage, which hasn't seen a whole lot of action so far.
Well, if they're going to go for a con push, they're going to go now. And as you can see, we are going to maybe go over to Garage instead. So this is probably better for Liquid. Their last con push, I think there was like 20 seconds left of the round when they were still opening up that cash wall. Next, we'll get the opening pick. Good sign. Something that Liquid haven't been able to have much of in this matchup is getting those opening frags and having that slight advantage. This time they will. Minute on the clock. 5 versus 4. They've already got this Candles wall opened up. It looks like Swiss cheese. And now they've also got Garage control. Deal with always. Don't lose any more players. And it's now really good for Liquid.
Arlu with the AK-12 is holding the cross. This is a devastating position for Empire, and Cypher makes that fact known. It's a 5 versus 2. Liquid stamping their authority in this round. They just need to close it out, but Joystick's still in the server. Don't discount this man.
Oh, does get dropped though, and it's now down to Shepard over towards Con. I think this round in particular has gone away from Empire. Full credit to Liquid. Played it well and just gives signs of life for this match. It's not all over just yet. Neither is this round. Shepard with a nice frag onto Moringa, but there's a player pushing up top red stairs. That's going to be PSK, I believe. Ness getting, of course, the finishing blow on Joystick from the earlier down. 4-6. Liquid not out of this yet.
Good work there from Liquid, and the main discrepancy in that round from previous occasions was the fact that they were able to get such swift control of Garage. We also saw Palu dominant outside on the breach. The AK-12 is just such a damn good gun. He makes really good use of it, and even that swing there from Cypher was not quite enough. Liquid just holding on in this matchup. The question is, can they do it for another 2 rounds?
Yeah. That's a very good question, Gus. Well done. This is why you're here at XI.
I'm the expert. Yep.
Liquid, of course, I think are more than capable of doing it. It's almost like that you've got this really, really, really good team versus another really good team. Hey, it's like, this is why we're at SI. So Empire are going to be difficult to stop here, especially going back over to Gym Bedroom. Last time out, Liquid a little bit sloppy. A lot of that work over on the bathroom wall, of course, couldn't get the mute. Saw a nice easy kill. Unfortunately, Sexy Cake literally lost his knees and needs to find a knee replacement after this matchup. But this is, of course, where if Liquid win this, then the pressure goes back over to Empire, despite still being on match point. Then overtime could be brewing. Liquid with a bit of momentum, and I could easily see them steamrolling the rest of this match. So Empire need to finish this off now. They've got full respect for Liquid. They know that they need to finish this quickly.
5 seconds to insertion.
Hogmat's being brought to the table here from Joystick. The affectionately known Soviet cyborg. He's had a couple of previous events where he's absolutely popped off. A little bit quieter in this matchup, 6-4-6, but still a very solid performance for his team. And with the 9 mil in hand, I'm sure he could definitely get some work done. So far, pretty default setup here from Empire, the extension over towards Cash and CCTV, and Liquid should be well equipped to deal with it.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much innovation really with these lineups round to round. Not many changes. Which is a good thing. Teams are comfortable with what they got, happy to back themselves in. Sexy Cake just getting to work on this jacuzzi wall nice and early in the round. And the main thing that they need to do here is just not make any mistakes. Don't literally put a foot wrong this time. Don't lose a player nice and early. like we saw last time on this gym bedroom attack. And that's almost been the theme. This matchup for Liquid has just been making mistakes early in rounds, and that's costing them.
Upside down rappel here from Moringa might be able to catch a defender off guard. Can, of course, watch the cross at the top of the main stairs, the exit or the entry, whichever way you want to look at it, in towards logistics. Definitely the side of the map that Liquid want to take control of. Sexy Cake, he's critical in this round. He got taken down by Shepard last time. On this occasion, he'll be looking to cleanly open the bottom of that wall, clear that mute jammer, and allow PSK to get a nice breach open.
It's good that you pointed that out, because that really was the turning point last time out for Gym Bedroom. Palu just trying to clear out all of this gym area as well. Minute 20, so a bit of time for Liquid. They don't have to rush too much. Empire just continuing to hold defensively. The main thing here from Liquid is there's no pressure at all over towards, say, top red, Cash. They are very focused on this jacuzzi wall and pushing in from this west side. And that might be their downfall. In the end, they could all just funnel in from one area. It's Moringa, though, gets the kill onto Dan. Sexy Cake was downed. So I was going to say it's a refrag, not quite. They can get Sexy Cake back up. It's the opening pick for Liquid. With a minute left, this is exactly what they needed. Something they haven't been able to do that often. Nesk following it up as well. Takes out Always. They still need to deal with Shepard, though, in the bathroom. And they obviously need to deal with Joystick running around. Oh! Turn around onto Palu. Sit down. 360 no scope, and then a bit of damage to PSK's foot. 37 seconds left, and it's just twists and turning in this match point round for Empire.
They really need to try and apply pressure to Joystick. Get someone on the window, swing wide, try and take him down. He's in an off-meta position, prone inside of Jim. He might be able to find one more with Liquid quite low, but surely he gets traded. No, he doesn't. The player on the window doesn't find that pick. This could be Empire's opportunity. I think it will be. Sexy Cake, he's left in the 1 versus X scenario, but he can't convert. Empire take round number 11. They close out the map. The Russians are activated.
Team Empire, off to the perfect start for Six Invitational 2021. They are victors over Team Liquid, one of the contenders, one of the favorites, guys. And they did it emphatically as well. 7-4 on their map pick of Clubhouse. Not their actual pick, but hey, let's be real. It's their map. They've made that statement. And I sure hope they don't get allowed to play that one again for all of the other teams in SI.
Wow, that was just absolutely